Hey, hello, hi peeps. This week's episode does include some triggering themes such as police brutality and violence. So please watch and listen with caution. We're sorry if this is traumatic for you. To help minimize any distress, we've marked the chapters for the relevant segments in the description. Thank you. So you're in the UK,
Mm.
it's like 30 degrees, and you're wearing black?
Yeah, but it's black man swag though, innit?
Okay. Why are my lashes doing this to me? Okay.
Because you're trying to judge me. And immediately Karma said, please relax. I said, okay, cool.
I'm thinking of your well-being so you don't pass out. So maybe wear something colourful. How about that?
Oh,
And Karma's not doing anything. Thank you
oh.
very much. So let's get started.
Oh wait. Before we even get started with the I wanted to ask, have you been on any dates since our last episode?
No.
Okay. You sure?
Yeah.
I was just checking. I just wanted to
Do you
review.
know something I don't know?
No, I just wanted to know if you tried vabbing or not and if it was successful on your date.
Oh, right. When I do it, you'll be the first to know.
Okay.
So should we do the intro, yeah?
Yeah. Let's do the
Yeah?
intro.
Okay.
Wagwan peeps, it's Venom, what you saying? Alongside my home slice, dammy to the Zane. When she and I get together on the poddy, ask anybody, the vibes are insane.
Join our family and feel free to come by. We on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Yeah.
New drop on the way every Monday at 6.
Tune in and come see what we unpick.
Hey, hello, hi everyone. Welcome to the Unpicked podcast show. You are here with me, Dammy to the Zane, and my co-host Venom.
What's good?
Yes, if you are stumbling onto our channel, welcome. And if you're a returner, thanks for coming back. Today's show is going to be an interesting one. Well, I think all our episodes are interesting, but you know how it is. By the title of this episode, you can see that we will be talking about whether or not the world is ending, as well as talking about the issues around Jackie Aina's new candle launch. She launched. We'll talk about it. As well as Doja Cat deciding to shave off all of her hair. And also we're going to be touching on
Westwood.
Wood of the West. Nearly forgot then. Crazy.
He's a forgettable man now.
He is a forgettable man, but we're going to be giving you guys an update on that following our previous episodes. But before we get into all of that juicy stuff, we're going to start with a game. Those of you that listen all the time, watch us all the time, you know what's coming up. We're going to do this or that. So then take it away.
Dammy Zane, are you ready?
I'm always ready.
Okay.
I was born ready.
Oh, easy now. I said it better English. You know, there's a Jamaican way that easy now, but I said easy now. All right. So the first one, I'll give you a scenario. The rest of them are just simple questions. But the first one, the scenario is, Unpicked have made it to the big screen. Whatever the big screen may be to you, maybe it's the internet now, innit? Maybe it's live on some channel, or maybe it's the TV screen. But we made it to the big screen, and we've been charged with the duty of interviewing Beyonce because of our comments on her latest album. And the this or that is, yeah. As you go to ask Beyonce your first question, you then this is live, by the way. You then begin vomiting uncontrollably on her.
Okay.
Or you ask Beyonce your first question, and as she goes to reply, she begins vomiting uncontrollably on you. Which will it be?
So basically, you're asking me if I'm gonna vomit on Queen Bee or
On live
if
TV.
Queen Bee's gonna vomit on me.
Essentially, yes.
I'm gonna vomit on Queen Bee.
Oh. You sure?
Yeah.
You sure? I'll give you a second. Like, remember this. Remember this is live, and this is and this is also Beyonce, and that will make you the girl that vomited on Beyonce. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, are you sure?
But either way, it's gonna be me, Beyonce, and vomit, right?
Yeah, of course.
For the first time in our history of doing this or that, I'm going to change my answer, please. And Beyonce can vomit on me. Yeah.
I thought it was gonna go that way. To be honest, I was like, "Are you sure?"
I don't want to be the girl because that can ruin my chances of future, like
anything.
Whereas if she vomits on me, I can sue.
Wow. Not damn me with the suing, boy. What are you suing her for, by the way?
Ruining my clothes, embarrassment.
You can either find the man of your dreams, Mr. Fine, soulmate, intertwined, bow, tomorrow, or win the Euro Millions jackpot, 5 billion tomorrow. But see, it's one or the other.
God damn! Wow. Mr. Right or the peas?
Mr. Right. And certified, not like could be Mr. Right. No, this is Mr. Right.
As in he wants everything that I want.
This is like
page.
This is the man who God made specifically for you. It's not who
for
you
me?
think. It's not who you think. It's not your ideas. This is the perfect man for you.
See, now you're changing it. Now it's not what Dami wants.
No. But I'm saying,
no. Hear me out. Now it's not what Dami wants.
No, but it obviously in part it will be what you want because you're gonna desire him. This is your Mr. Right, but I'm just saying he's also better than what you're conceiving because you can only think so much.
Love or money?
Now, real dilemma.
It's a real dilemma, you know.
Oh, look at the stalling though.
I need to think about it.
Damn, and she's taking a swig as well. Oh, the pressure. Damn me. Thought you'd have been quicker than this, you know?
How much is it again?
5 billion.
But then if I choose the man, I'm still going to have the peas I have now, innit?
Yeah, you're still you.
I'm not going to go poor.
It doesn't mean that you have to be broke or he's broke. It's not like that. It's just...
I mean, the man of my dreams has money. You know what? You know what? The man of my dreams that I desire, that God knows is good for me, has peas. And I've got peas.
You said that God knows?
So for that reason, I'm going to choose my man because it's not good for man to be alone. Do you know what I mean? Bible verses. Okay. And yeah, love over money because he's going to have money anyway.
Bare caveats, boy. Okay.
That's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Well.
Yeah.
Okay. Either Dami Zayn can never leave the house in the day again, or Dami Zayn can never leave the house in the night again. Sundown is night. If you're outside, you're inside.
If I'm outside, I'm inside.
Yeah, like that. Like a Cinderella thing. Poof.
Oh, see, now the scenario has changed. It's not what you said.
I'm just helping you. I'm just helping.
No. Before you said cannot leave the house in the daytime or cannot leave.
You cannot be outside. You cannot be outside.
Okay. I prefer to be able to be outside in the daytime. Yeah.
You planning to live in this country your whole life?
No.
Just checking. Because like winter months over here can get dark from about 4:30.
The party will come to me.
Okay, Sha.
Yes. You tried it with the questions this time. You tried it. The first one was a bit. The second one was tough. The last one was easy. But anyway, I'll get you next week, innit? That's all right.
If you say so. If you say so.
Oh, I know so. Hot topics.
Hot topics indeed.
Jackie Aina.
Mm-hmm.
She is a YouTuber. She used to YouTube mainly makeup videos and stuff like that. Just giving some backstory for the people that don't know who she is. So in the beauty industry, that was her bag, that was her niche. And then she launched a candle product. Products. So she now sells candles, fragrances. And recently she released another, I guess you can call it a series of candles under the title Owambé. Sorry, hit my mic, my bad. Under the title Owambé, which basically is like party, have a good time. Like that's what
Mm-hmm.
Yorubas call Owambé, right? And she had 4 candles, and one of the candles was titled Soro Soké. Now, this caused a big uproar on Twitter and on social media because a lot of Nigerians felt that it was inappropriate for her to call the candle Soro Soké. And actually, it then launched into a whole debate about Nigerians in the diaspora and them not being sensitive to the issues that are happening back home.
So what
Then
does Soro Soké mean for
it
the
means
viewers?
speak up, basically. Speak up. Yeah. The thing with Yoruba, yeah, and with most African languages is I feel like you can't do a direct translation. Like it could be speak up, speak louder, that kind of vibe. But it's basically Soro Soke, so speak up is basically what they're trying to say. And I mean some of the other names did meet the Owambé vibe, but the Soro Soke one didn't, obviously,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because, and it sparked a debate on social media about how people in the diaspora don't have like true connection to or care for what's happening back home.
Mm-hmm.
And people were really upset with Jackie's because they felt that she hasn't spoken on certain things that have happened in Nigeria. But then she's now using a phrase for that movement to profit, basically, because she's
Mm-hmm.
using it
Mm-hmm.
to sell candles. Now, for those who do not know what I've told you what Soro Soke means, but I've not explained why and how it was used before Jackie used it. So during the pandemic, there was the End SARS movement, and basically what that was about. I don't want to go into too much detail, but essentially there is a group. I'm going to call them group just to simplify it, called SARS, who act as like the police in Nigeria. They are very, very corrupt. They target young people, and they're just really deviant. They just cause a lot of problems. So essentially, during the End SARS movement, a lot of young people were protesting for their rights, because these individuals who are part of SAR would do dumb things like if you're carrying a really nice mobile phone or your hair is a certain color, for example, they'll just assume you're a delinquent and then they would treat you badly and, abuse you basically. So and that's just one thing that they were capable of doing or that they were doing. So when the young people were protesting to end SARS, they were trying to end that group of officials. And that led to a really bloody time because young people were being killed, murdered, shot, like brutally, for protesting against this organization, essentially. And at the time, people dug up tweets as usual, where they were like, Jackie didn't say anything. She didn't say anything until she was pushed to. And then when she was pushed to, she wrote a tweet just basically saying that it's wrong and that,
Mm-hmm.
NSAR's just supporting the movement. So if we were going to compare Soro Soké as a phrase to anything, we would be comparing it to all Black Lives Matter, because in America and even in the UK, people in the Black culture were using Black Lives Matter to protest against police brutality. And it's literally parallel to that. The difference is in Nigeria, it got really, really bloody. Not to say it wasn't bloody in America. It surely wasn't bloody here in the UK. But in Nigeria, like, there was images of, really gruesome images of young people being killed just because they were protesting for this. So, yeah, I thought, why not unpick that a little bit as a hot topic? So what are your thoughts, Venom?
I've looked at what is available online to read into this story a little bit more than the surface story. But I came back to the same question, scenario, I guess, which is, why do we look to anyone whose position is even slightly elevated in order to represent our causes, if you see what I mean? And the reason why I'm saying that is because I don't know, prior to this, I don't know Jackie. So she must be big in her field, but not big enough that just a common person would know her. And yes, she is Nigerian, but at the same time, I don't feel like it's right to bully people, or not bully, but pressure people to speak on things that they haven't freely decided to speak on.
I agree with you. I think in the Western world, bunny fingers, basically Europe and America, I think that it's not important for people to speak on some of the big things unless you're really big. But back home in Africa, even if you're not a big name, for the fact that you're in the diaspora, I feel like you've got a lot more power when it comes to getting, in terms of changing the movement, in terms of having an impact on some of the decisions made. Because whether, in my opinion, I actually believe that the government and other, the people that lead the countries back home actually care more about what the people in the diaspora have to say than the people in their actual country, because of economics, because of wealth, and the wealth that they could bring into the country, and etc. And I'm one of those people that believes that people in the diaspora should use their platforms and their voices to bring light to these issues a lot more.
Yeah.
Circumstances has led you to be in a country that is a lot more, I guess you can say, actually, yeah, you can say safe. That's a lot more organized politically, even though it's a joke right now, both here and America. It's still more organized than it is back home. We've got a much more organized policing and a justice system than they do back home. So we are privileged, and so we should be able to take that privilege and use it to better where we came from. um that was kind of the angle I was going at when we spoke about the war and whether I would draft for the war in the UK.
Oh, yeah,
And I got a lot of backlash because some people were like, but you weren't born in Nigeria, you was born in the UK, you might as well go back to your country. And I'm like, listen, don't be pressed because I have a British passport. That's your government that decided that if I'm born in this country, then I am entitled to the nationality. That's not a decision that I made. But fundamentally, just by looking at me, I'm not British. I come from Africa. That's where I'm from. And so that's where my heart is, fundamentally. And one day I would love to be able to say that I've got enough following and enough influence in the industry for me to be like, right, I'm going to talk a lot more about what's going on back home, and I'm going to make a difference back home more so than here. Because let's face it, in the UK, they don't care about us brown people. If you look at social media influencers, yeah, they don't get paid as much as the Caucasian counterparts. Why do you think that is? Even something as small as that. Why do you think that is? Is because we are, whilst they're influencers, they don't influence the majority because of where they're from.
Yeah.
But if they were to take that influence and take it back home, it would make a big difference, because we know that the government and stuff is corrupt, and they care more about what's happening outside of their country than what's happening inside their country. So
Yeah, I hear that.
So I get why, when the End SARS movement was happening, why Nigerians felt that people who were influencers or who had some sort of presence online, who were in the diaspora,
Mm-hmm.
should have spoken. And I agree. I
I
do agree
mean,
with that.
it's a tricky one because
Mm,
I posted with regards to it at the time
mm,
because I'm Nigerian and because it was that kind of time. It was a time where people were protesting, rebelling, and
mm.
to me, it doesn't hurt me to share something like that. And if that is what awareness is, then I'll do it.
Yeah.
But that's because that particular feeling happened to me, and I don't know. I just find it really. I do find it weird because I understand that it is the diaspora community and possibly people, still living in Africa as well, that have basically elevated Jackie to the position that she's now in with her business and with her social presence. But at the same time, that doesn't then mean that she is also a political representative of.
She's definitely not a political representative. The thing is, okay, it's, I don't know, for me, it's quite hard for me because I am patriotic of Nigeria. Like, I'm very
Hmm.
proud to be Nigerian. I care about what happens in Nigeria because I've still got family there.
Hmm. Yeah,
And the
same.
things that happen there affect the family that I have there, right?
Hmm.
And I'm very aware of the fact that whilst my nationality is British, fundamentally my DNA says that I'm Nigerian. So for that fact, I care and I make sure that I know what's happening in my home country.
Hmm.
And I'm not gonna lie, I don't respect people who don't do the same. So while she didn't have to speak on it, she doesn't have to use her platform to also protest for it.
Hmm.
But at least have knowledge of it enough for you to know that making such a move for um, your business and for economic gain was not the right move to make. And I'm a big believer that people in the diaspora have a responsibility to make sure that they are aware of what is happening in the countries that they actually come from. I
Hmm.
don't think it's good enough for you to say, I'm Nigerian. And she does talk about it. She's very much you know, the thing about Jackie, the reason why she's got such a big following from the women, because she does beauty, so that's probably why you don't really know who she is, but
Yeah,
black
yeah.
women know who she is, right?
Hmm.
And the reason why she has such a big following is because she was a pioneer for the culture. She was pretty much, the makeup industry doesn't really do much for black girls, so I'm going to push that narrative forward. I'm going to do my best to show
Hmm.
black
Hmm.
girls that they can and how they can do their makeup. I'm going to push for, when she started working with makeup artists and makeup like not just artists
Brands
but
and.
brands, she was very much, we need to make sure that there are palettes and makeup that black girls can use,
Yeah,
so
I hear that.
that's her USP, right?
Hmm.
um and you're right, a lot of people from back home probably were watching, black girls who wanted to do their makeup back home probably were watching Jackie Aina on YouTube,
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
they too want to know how to do makeup from someone who is trained in the industry for themselves, because there wasn't that many black girls doing makeup on YouTube. She was one of the first ones. And I'm not talking about light-skinned black girls. I'm talking about the darker black girls, right? She was the one pushing that. But I still expect her. And the reason why I brought that up is because I watched her videos. I've watched her
Mm-hmm.
videos, and she talks about she does talk about being Nigerian. She makes it very clear that she's Nigerian, but you can't pick up and put down being Nigerian when you feel like it. You're either Nigerian or you're not Nigerian. And if you're going to be bringing it up, then it makes sense for you to be well versed in what's going on back home. That is your responsibility. And at the same time, I'm not saying that you have to I mean, if you love your country and you love where you come from, like you say you do, I don't see why you wouldn't be convicted to also um God, the word
What
escapes
speak
me.
on the issues,
Speak
voice?
on the issue, protest virtually as well. Like if you care, you will do it because that's where you're from and you care about where you're. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Like
I
you
hear
can't
you, but
not
it's
care.
do you know what
Do
it
you see
is?
what I'm
I'm
saying?
just looking at
But
it
at
from
the
so
same
many
time, I
different
know,
angles.
but at the same time, it's not the conversation here is a little bit about her not protesting and not having anything to say, but
Mm-hmm.
it's also not being compassionate and not caring about the movement in the first place and not caring about the fact that so many lives were lost in a gruesome way and it was online. People saw it online, like it
Mm-hmm.
was
Mm-hmm.
circulating, and then for you to it's just distasteful for you to then use that same protest phrase as the name for a product which is completely unrelated to line your pockets. I don't care. You didn't have to protest. You didn't have to speak on it, but
Mm-hmm.
know enough for you to know that that was not going to be okay. Do you see what I'm saying?
I do,
That's
but
the
like when
issue.
it's like when I read into it, looked into it,
Mm,
people said like the way it was written was like she didn't speak on SARS, and then you read further and it's like until people badgered her, and then she did speak on it. Now, to me, as an individual, I feel
mm,
like nobody can make me do anything. If people are presenting me with loads of information and I'm like, oh wow, let me look into this, and I'm like, oh
mm,
wow, I feel like I want to speak on this, and then I
mm,
speak on it.
mm.
There's so many different ways other people can interpret that narrative, but I'm just telling you how it came to me. Was loads of people brought one particular issue to light to me, then I read into it, took my time, did my due diligence, and then I said what I said. I don't know
That's
if
fine.
people
That's
care
fine.
about
But
what
don't
she
then.
said, but
That's fine. That's
then
fine.
in light of that and people having
Mm-hmm.
their opinion on me speaking on it or whatever, then I'm like, oh, you know what? I don't feel like I did enough with, how I voiced my protest and etc. etc. So actually, I'm gonna try and um, represent that group in this
No,
new range
no.
that
I
I'm
hope you're
doing.
not
Blah blah
going where
blah
I
blah blah
think you're
blah.
going.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that I can understand how you can arrive at that decision. I'm not saying it's the right one, but equally so, if she was the first person to speak on it, the first person to da 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 da, and then she had the
Yeah,
candle, it'd
I'm
be
going
a
to be
different
very honest with
narrative.
you. I'm going to be very honest with you. It's not about
Mm-hmm.
whether she spoke on it or not. It's about the fact that it is very distasteful to name any product that you're trying to sell for economic gain after such a movement.
Yeah, but there's products you can buy that are BLM products.
Yeah, you can buy BLM products, but you don't buy products. You're not buying a candle that is named Black Lives Matter under the term Owambé when you know what Owambé means.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, no,
that's what
I'm
I'm
just
trying to
saying that it
say.
fits
Like,
in. I'm not saying that it fits in, yeah.
there's actually no justification for it. There's no justification for it. There's none. That's like me starting a, I don't know, something that's unrelated. I don't know, mobile phone case range, and
Mm-hmm.
the overarching range, I'm gonna name it It's Lit, yeah. And then one of the cases is called Black Lives Matter. Does it make sense? No. It's distasteful. It shows that you're not knowledgeable. You don't care. The reason for you, it's all a marketing gimmick. You're trying to get other Nigerians to back you in this product. Hence why you went and used like a Nigerian or Yoruba even,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
naming for the
Yeah.
range of candles, and then you were just distasteful and just showed that you didn't think properly when you then decided to name one of those products after a movement. And it's not even a movement where things were somewhat not as violent and
Yeah.
volatile. It's a
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
movement where there was
Yeah,
back
people
then there
died.
was images of people. Like, I remember seeing a video. It was even a live or something like that of this young person young people getting shot and you could see loads of dead bodies on the floor. And the hashtag for that at that time for that crime was Soro Soké. So it doesn't make sense to use that as a title. I don't care
I
about
hear
whether she
it,
spoke
but
about it at the time or not. I just think it just shows that, to me, it just comes across as distasteful. And she has apologized. So I give her that. She's apologized and she's realized the errors of her ways. But my overarching opinion on all of this is, if you are someone from the diaspora, it is so important that you do not forget where you come from and you actually make sure that you are well versed in what's going on in the country that you originate from, so that you don't make mistakes like that.
the wonderful, the famous, the beautiful Doja Cat has officially gone under the knife. Not for her face and body, although that may have that may have happened. No, but she's given her head a shave, and now she's rocking the level 1, like the man them.
It's not even a level 1. It's like a minus. Like, that head is bald.
It's not bald. There was hair on the head, but it was definitely given level 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she went on Instagram and decided to talk about her hair journey and why she's shaving it off, citing the ridiculousness of braiding your hair and putting on a weave and then putting on a hat on top of the weave and then going to the gym and training hard and all of that stress. So she decided, today we're done, and shaved it off. What are you saying, Dami? You next?
If I could pull it off, I would do it, man.
What do you mean, if you could pull it off? Why?
I can't pull it off.
Why do you believe
I don't have
you
the
couldn't pull it
face
off?
shape or the head shape to be bold.
Is your head human head?
Uh-huh.
You have a human face?
Yeah.
Oh. So what's stopping you from pulling it off? Like, that's basically what
I just don't think it would suit me.
Has?
It would not suit me.
Okay.
It wouldn't suit me. And I think that it suits Doja Cat. And I think when I see some girls, like, where they shave their hair off, I'm just like, wow. Like, I envy you. You wake up in the morning and you go.
It really is that. It really is that deep, man. You just,
God, it's so freeing.
You don't even need. Well, actually, it's different for girls because girls wear makeup. I was gonna say you don't even need mirrors when you ain't got hair. You just. But real talk though, I don't think I've seen any girls / women who have shaved their hair off and it doesn't suit them, so long as they shaved it off. Some people have, like, alopecia or other maybe hair conditions, and then they kind of trying to hold on to their hair. That doesn't look good. But when you commit and zoom, always looks good. I
don't think it will suit me. I've got a round face. Okay. And strong features. I just don't think it would suit me. Yeah.
Grace Jones has strong features. She rocked a...
Yeah, but she's also got a certain type of head shape. Like, face structure is completely different to mine.
Why? Because she's got a long face. A very long look.
Like an oval shaped face, not like round like a football. Like, it's a different shape. I just don't think it would suit me personally. But I commend the women that do it, and I think Doja Cat looks absolutely phenomenal with it.
I think she looks dope with it. And I definitely agree, because when she started talking, I was like, this is what I be thinking all the damn time. Like, how have you got braids on, and then a wig cap, and then a wig, and then a hat?
She can still wear a wig. She can still wear a wig.
Yeah, she can still wear a wig, but
she can still wear a wig. I'm not really
on that no more.
I used to like wigs, but I can't stand wigs now.
Not here for none of that.
Because the effort that goes into a wig. Because there's so many different types. There's the full frontal, and then there's the gluing it down, and the baby hair, and the plucking, and I ain't got time for that. Sew-ins, please. Thank you very much. I can't. When we first started this podcast, I was doing that wig. I said I cannot do that again. I'm tired.
Just afro, or just shave, or just straight back.
But the type of person that I am, and I don't believe in star signs, but I feel like maybe it's, I don't know. I don't believe in star signs, but I don't know. It could be because they say that Sagittarius we're very like spontaneous. We like change our minds a lot. We don't really know how to commit to things. So I change my hair a lot. Like, I this after a while, I'm like, yeah, this hairstyle, I need a change. All of a sudden, like I'm like, I want to change something about me. And because of that, I'm also very spontaneous with things that I decide to do. Like I got my nose pierced spontaneously, amongst other things. I bought a
Whoa.
dog
Wait, what?
spontaneously.
Wait a
I'm
minute.
not going back. I'm not going back to that. I'm not going
Wait
back to
a
that.
minute.
Like I just do things spontaneously, and my hair is.
She just tried to slip that one through the net. What?
Anyway, I just do things spontaneously, and I change things up spontaneously as well.
Oh my
And
God.
I'll have my braids in for like 3 weeks, and then I'll be like, yeah, I'm getting bored and I want to change it. And if I chopped off all my hair,
Yeah.
I think I would have a crisis.
Oh, you
Because I'd
wouldn't
be
have a
like,
crisis.
I would, because 2-3 weeks later, I'll be like, Dammy, why did you do that? Now that you want to rock your actual afro, your fro is not there. Why? Because you chopped it off. Do you see what I'm saying? There was a time when I went through a phase where I was like, oh, let me because I really think that dreads would suit me.
I wanted to bang
I was
dreads
like,
so bad, man.
And I was like, I really want to get my hair dreaded. Like, I know I will look very, very sexy with dreads, yeah. And there's a particular type of dreads that I wanted. But my cousin, shout out, this girl knows me inside, outside. She knows me to a T. Like, I had, at the time, friends telling me, no, do it. My cousin sat me
That
down.
would've
She
been
said, Dammy, yeah, I know. But my cousin, like I said, there's no one that knows me like this girl. She sat me down. She said, Dammy, are you sure? Because I know you. 1 week will go by. You'd be like, I'm feeling myself. It's cute. 2 weeks, you'd be like, yeah, I'm done. I need a change. And once you commit to dreads, you commit to dreads. So,
dreads bang, and dreads are. This is someone that's never had dreads, but I've always admired and looked at people with dreads like, damn, man, I wish I got there.
It's very. The funny thing is, I prefer dreads on guys.
Hairstyles. No, I love dreads on people, man. Well,
I know, but
dreads,
I like it on guys.
bang.
Like the thing about me is, when it comes to my type, yeah, yes, I'm telling you lot my type, just in case one of them is watching and might want to slide into Dammy Zane's DMs, yeah. But I like low cut, bald, or dreads. That's what I like. So no, dreads, I like it. I'm feeling the dreads, but I just know that I personally would have to love them from afar, because I know that after a week or two, I'd be over it.
No, not even.
The novelty will wear off. And I'll be like, okay, now I want braids. Okay, now I want my weave.
Dreads.
But now I want an afro. I can't get my afro back.
No,
I want to do a wash and go. Can't do that.
You can get weave. I have a friend.
I want to slick my hair back. No.
But it's all too much. Like, it's too much. And
it's a lot of work.
What, yeah, this is a separate thing. But I always say this to girls, and mainly I'm talking to black girls, because black girls are the girls who explore this amount of variety of hairstyles.
As we can.
But I say to them, how are you going to do all of this and also expect a man to be faithful when you're almost by force training him to have to like very many different versions of you that are so diverse, they might as well just be different people.
That's the more reason why he doesn't need to cheat, because he's like, I want a different type of chick. That's cool, baby.
Yeah, it's not.
Oh, babes, you want a natural girl? That's cool. I'm gonna take the weave off. You get the natural hair. Oh, you want the bad bee with the weave? I can do that. You want the bust down middle parting? I can do that. You want the braids? I can do that. You want the faux locks? I can do that. You can get different varieties.
Yeah, you can get different varieties
from the one girl. Yeah, it's all about how you look at it, man. It's all about mindset.
But wanting variety instead of wanting
and he can get
singularity.
No. He can get the variety, because I'll be giving you different looks.
Commitment is based on. It's about being singular. Being, that's my woman. That one.
Cool, but
unless you're into a monogamous thing, or sorry, a polyamorous thing.
You know what? And here I've generated another episode for us that we can explore next week. But I feel like the world is moving away from
monogamy.
Monogamy, anyway. Yeah, I feel like it's getting increasingly difficult for people to have a monogamous relationship in today's world.
I don't know any polygamous relationships though.
I know plenty of polygamous.
Oh wow! Okay, cool.
It's polygamous, and they don't realize it's polygamous.
I don't know if that's the same thing, but we'll speak on it.
Woo! Yeah. So I feel like I get I get the angle you're coming from, but I guess it's all about mindset, isn't it? At the end of the day, and And it's kind of like, bear with me with this. I'm gonna get to where I need to get to with this. Just bear with me, because it's gonna sound left, but bear with me. It's kind of like with sex, yeah. You could be having the same type of sex all the time with your long-term partner, right? And then they're like, oh, it's getting a bit dry. So you spice it up. How do you spice it up? By doing different things. It's the same thing. You're with the same girl all the time, same look all the time. She might decide to spice it up for you, so it feels a little bit, a little bit brand new. Same girl, but just a different look.
Yeah, but
it's the same type of thing.
How frequent is that?
It doesn't have to be frequent. I mean, with me, it'll be frequent because I change my hair all the time.
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, Westwood, Wood West, man, like. So there's been an update since we last discussed this person.
As indeed.
Basically, a review of the situation made clear that the BBC should have investigated some of the concerns that were raised about Westwood time ago. And I just wanted to say I'm not surprised. I mean, the first time we covered it, I was pretty much saying that they must have known. And I guess that's kind of proving what I was saying, right?
Yeah, to a degree, man. I mean, they 100% had to have had complaints because
100%.
Because everybody knew, so they couldn't not know.
Everyone suspected.
Sorry, suspected. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Got to use the correct legal jargon in here.
Yeah, I mean.
But yeah. Now, but at least they, did their own internal investigation, because there would be different people in charge of all of those departments at the time anyway. So it's only right that they then just objectively look at the situation and say, yeah, like, so what happened? What took place? What did we receive? What was done about it, etc. And they're like, yeah, this doesn't look good for us, guys. This is not what we're supposed to be representing. Yeah. Well,
let's just see how the story unfolds, because once we hear more, we will definitely be reporting on it and unpicking it. So just so you lot know, we're still on the case, we're still on top of it, and we will, if you're interested, we will keep you up to date with what goes on there.
Yeah, baby. So for the main topic this week, we're going to be discussing, is the world ending? It's a bit of an open-ender, but I've got some random, there's so many different things we could talk about, but I've got some random tidbits that I want to bring to the table. And then I guess, we can get your thoughts and opinions from there. I think the funniest one that I shared was that we had the world's shortest day ever a couple of days ago, because the world is spinning faster. Yeah, they said that the
Earth is spinning faster than normal.
And I said, the fastest day ever, meaning that it went faster than normal and then slowed back down? Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because the sentence implies that it's not now faster. That was the shortest day. I don't even know how that works. Because if it spun faster and it went from day to night faster, is time now technically not wrong?
Ooh, good question.
Do you get what I mean? Because if it spanned faster than 24 hours or whatever the real measurement is, was it enough that like now we're like a couple minutes out? Do you know what I mean? I don't know what it is, but...
Well, no, because if the day ended quicker, then...
Yeah, but clocks can't account for that. Because clocks count in seconds. They count in units. They don't... Like a sundial would be fine, because a sundial is based on the sun. So it would just be correct the next day when, you know what I mean, the world's...
But whatever. You know how in the UK we've got BST and GMT, yeah?
Yeah.
The clocks don't change really apart from going backwards or forwards, right?
Yeah, for a whole hour.
But in terms of the minutes and seconds and stuff like that, how do we know that is accurate anyway? So we could have already been moving at the wrong time.
Oh, no, but 100% we were moving at the wrong time.
Yeah, so what difference does it make? In the grand scheme of things, what's the impact of it? What's...
In the grand scheme of things, probably nothing. Well, it's not nothing, but it depends, innit? If the world is spinning faster, then it will just move day and night further and further out of sync.
So then could you argue that actually maybe it's not that the Earth is spinning faster that caused the shortest day? It could just be that we're inaccurate with time. And
But we've
always
been
been
inaccurate with
inaccurate
time.
with
We've
time.
always been inaccurate with time.
Exactly.
But it's based
So
on the
it could,
measure of time. Like, let's say, for example, 24 hours is one day. On this particular day, the world span around, like the same place, did a full rotation faster than 24 hours. So that means as the clocks keep going, time is now behind.
But what I'm trying to say to you is time has always been inaccurate anyway. So what difference does it make?
Because we don't make manual
And how do we?
adjustments.
No, and we haven't made manual adjustments. Not really. Even the time is moving forward an hour, moving back an hour. How do we know that's accurate?
No, but that's
So in
to
the grand
account
scheme
for
of things,
time inaccuracy in the it's not even. That's just how it falls in the UK. In fact, this one we even spending too long because there's juicier ones than this.
I'm trying to tell. That's what I'm saying. Your brain is. I do enjoy when you go all the way to another place. I really do.
To another planet.
On this occasion, I'm just like, I don't see how this is gonna make a difference.
Yeah.
Technically, time is wrong anyway.
Time is definitely wrong.
The clocks are wrong anyway.
So I had a conversation with a gentleman. I won't name him, but I had a conversation with a gentleman when I was out one day, and I don't know why, but he looked at me and he decided, even though I was out with my wife as well, he decided, you sir, I'm gonna give you conspiracy theory. I know you want it. I was like, rah, okay, but I was fully intrigued, and I don't know why I was giving off this conspiracy theory, give it to me vibes, but clearly I was. So he gave me one story about a planet that is rotating our sun that we know about, that we also don't know about, which is called Planet X. You can look it up. I'd advise you look it up. Do your own research on it, and you'll see that it's a very real thing. Basically, there's a planet called Planet X, and it is a massive planet, Neptune-sized. It's supposed to be an oblong shape, so not like a solid round planet, more like a potato-y kind of vibe, and it rotates our sun at a cycle of between 10 yes, I'm correct, between 10 and 20,000 years. So that's how long it takes for it to move around the sun, which the rotation of the sun is called a year.
Yeah.
Now, because of the size, shape, and distance of this planet, that influences how our planet rotates the sun because of a gravitational pull. And this is how scientists have been able to even identify that this planet exists, because it has to exist based on how we rotate the sun. So there are loads of conspiracy theories about this planet called Planet X. And this guy let me onto one of them, which was ridiculous. But because I've seen an anime that has the exact same story, I'm almost like,
it might be true.
This is too believable because I've seen it.
Or he could have got it from the anime.
No, well, he didn't, but the people who fleshed out this narrative may have. But essentially, what he was saying was everybody's aware of Area 51.
Yeah.
Now, what if, and they say that, oh, Area 51, this is where all the aliens are kept and the Earth's secrets and all of this interterrestrial technology, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But he said, but what if actually it's the complete opposite way around? And everywhere that we know, that's Area 51. And we are the aliens. And within that area, that's where the true human society live. And they shoot you on sight, and it's a forbidden area because we are not allowed in there because we're not.
I mean, it's believable. Humans. It's believable. I can believe it.
Because
I've sometimes thought about, like, is this all a game? When you think about like COVID and now monkeypox, yeah, and I mean, I know that the government obviously would know stuff that we don't know, and I just think, are they just playing with us? Like, are we just one big experiment?
With monkeypox, COVID to me is what do you call it? Biological warfare. I think that's biological warfare gone wrong. But monkeypox that is just fear mongering, because the numbers that, like, in America, they declared a state of emergency. Joe Biden declared a state of emergency because 16,000 cases had been detected of monkeypox. And there wasn't context, like, how many states this was in, etc. But it doesn't even really matter how many states it was in, because 16,000 is not even a percent. And the same thing happened here. My sister messaged me. She was like, "Oh, watch out for the monkeypox because we've got this many cases." And I said, "How many?" I just Googled quickly UK population. I said, "This is not even a percent. This is not even a percent." Are you... If I told you that less than a percent of anything, you just won't be worried. Less than a percent. That's not the world ending. That's scaremongering.
I'm not saying that that is the world ending. I'm saying that all of that, even if it is scaremongering, it is still playing with people's lives. It is still using us as an experiment.
Oh, for sure.
But and that's why I can believe this conspiracy theory. This
narrative.
Because even if we were to look at how COVID unfolded, they started talking. I remember hearing about COVID in November of 2019, but it was just this thing that was happening in China. And people are like, it's not going to come to the UK. Okay. Then we heard, oh, there's one case. Next thing you know, it's escalating. Next thing you know, it's... And even how they handled the whole lockdown and everything, it was all an experiment. It was all, let's just see. And,
for sure.
all of a sudden pushing out all the vaccines really fast, but then there's been vaccines for other things that they've been trying to push out for years, if not decades. But with COVID, things were happening so quickly, and now off the back of it, now the UK is heading into a recession, and all of it to me just seems like, is this an experiment? Is this an experiment?
Yeah, to a degree. Is it? I don't know if I'm happy with the word experiment as a description, like, but it's definitely a thing. It's a something. I just don't know what the word is.
Even okay, but the you might not like the word experiment, but the theme, the belief behind it, irrespective of what word you replace the word experiment with, is still there.
Yeah.
It's still trial and error,
going on.
And they're making decisions based on knowledge that we don't have as a society, but they do.
But that's always been the case.
Exactly. That's why I could believe that we're the
aliens, or the...
Yeah, I don't know if I would say we're... I don't know if I would say that we're aliens. Maybe just say that... That's why I said experiment. That's why I use the word experiment. We're the ones that they're like, let's just see what go on. Let's...
what that go on. All right, so here's...
And they could be watching us like Big Brother.
Well, they definitely are.
One thing about me, Venom, is I have a really crazy imagination. You give me an inch, I'm taking a mile. I'll create a whole narrative story, backstories.
That is what
I'm running with it.
Did with this story. So this Area 51 part is only part 1 of this trilogy.
Ooh, juicy. Give me some more. Let's go.
So he's talking to me about this planet, and he's talking to me about history, ancient history as we know it. And he said, well, obviously we know that there were giants on this planet. That's proven. Yeah. It's in the Bible. It's in all sorts of books referred to the giants that were here. And they're clearly not here anymore. I mean, other religions speak to other beings, like Islam speaks to the jinn. There's loads of different beings that are also clearly not humans. Yeah. So he said
that are not in this realm as well.
Well, they're not in this realm, but more importantly, they're definitely not human, but have humanoid physicality by description. Anyway, he said, so this particular planet that's coming around, what if that planet is where like civilized life exists? Maybe it's the giants, maybe it's something else, because obviously the pyramids can't be explained. They're positioning around the globe where you have similar structures that have similar artworks, and similar constructions on different continents that follow a particular line speak to like some kind of movement that, based on our history or our recorded history, didn't exist. So there had to be something smarter than what we know our human counterparts from the past to have been, to be able to create these structures along this particular line and to be able to move the pyramids, etc. So he was saying, what if you had these people come from this planet X, and they migrated to Earth, bred humans here with the sole purpose of leaving us to breed, because this is what we do uncontrollably. They go on their 10, 20-year rotation, and when they come back, they harvest us. So we essentially are their food.
I feel like that one went left a little bit, because the thing is, I was watching this thing on TikTok. Is a bad place because there's a lot of weird things going on TikTok. But I was watching this TikTok video about these giants that you're talking about, and they were talking about animals. And there's loads of images, you can Google it, of mountains that look like giant animals. Like there's a giant elephant.
What, as in
like a snake
on Earth?
All around the world. Yeah, okay, all around the world.
Cool.
And the theory is that those giants are sleeping. They're not actually dead. Now, during the time of Noah's Ark, biblical references.
Go for it.
During that time, obviously, everyone knows the story. It's pretty he was told to take 2 of each. And the reason why he was told to take 2 of each is because humans and non-humans were mixing with each other. That's the best way I can put it. So they were like, yeah. So there were the giants weren't humans per se. They were a different type of being, and they were reproducing with human beings, and they weren't supposed to. And then there was all sorts of other types of sin going on. And so God was like, yeah, I'm going to cleanse the earth. Noah, build an ark, 2 of each of everything, and then we'll start again. Well, it's a belief that these mountains are some of those giants that didn't necessarily die, but became dormant when that happened, and that when the day of judgment comes or whatever, they're gonna wake up basically and then wreak havoc on the earth, because they're evil. They're not actually.
They're not here for good.
They're not here for the good, right? So I don't know. There's so many stories. There's so many things that people can believe.
I think you need to send me those TikToks about the giants.
I don't know if I can find that TikTok, but if you Google, I can send you some Google images.
Send me a
giant
link.
Animals, and there's even one of a woman sleeping as well. It's a giant. She's a woman, but she's a giant, and she's sleeping. She's it's very fascinating.
Have you seen the palm? Eerie. Have you seen the palm print on Google Maps?
Yeah.
Have you searched it yourself?
I have.
It's fully there.
After watching this TikTok, I went on Google and I was like, right, I'm searching giants, and I wanted to see the map, the satellite view of these things, and I was like, oh my god, this is really eerie. Yeah, this is eerie. There's a lot that we don't know about that's happening in our world, and we don't know. And so, again, I don't know if because my imagination can run wild, or if it's because these things. I don't know, maybe I'm or maybe I'm gullible enough to believe these conspiracy theories, but I do think that giants have existed, do exist.
Oh, of course they have.
I know that over the years, all types of life have evolved. Animals are generally getting smaller and smaller. I mean, if you saw my little Toby, dogs are meant to be they're from the same family as foxes. You look at the size of a fox, but then you look at little dogs like my Toby, and when I give him a wash, I can see the fox features, even his eyes and stuff like that. I'm like, oh yeah, I can see it. I can see it's your cousin and that. But You know, do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Mad.
things evolve. Humans have changed and evolved and continue to change and evolve. And so, yeah, I can believe that that's what we're here to do. But the whole they harvest us later, I don't know.
So let me give you, I
That's
don't
where I
know.
draw the line.
Let me give you some scenarios, yeah? Imagine this. Earth as it is currently, we are running out of our resources. This much we know. We're running out of petroleum, gas, all of the, fossil fuels. Because once you burn them, they're done. Now, if we found a planet in our solar system that we could easily access that had a basic life form on it, not something advanced that could kill us, or, you know what I mean? Do you believe that one of these companies, if not all of them, would make it their mission to go to that country and take that resource if it was not...
Don't you think they're already doing that? What makes you think they're not already doing that?
Yeah, but this is my point. So if you think that we would do that to another planet, why would you not think another planet would do that to us?
Well, there's not much here in on Earth.
There's humans here.
Okay.
Like, what a resource is to another civilization can only be known by the other.
I believe that the Earth is going to die at some point.
Of course,
and
all planets die.
All life on it will die.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that because we know that the Earth's resources are going. We know that, I mean, if you look at the crazy weather we're experiencing in the UK, knowing that this UK is normally cold, that in itself tells you that, you know, things are changing.
Mm-hmm.
Our ozone layer is basically eroded. There's nothing there. Do you know what I mean? Like,
oh no, the ozone layer.
Water resources are reducing. The
ozone layer doesn't have an issue.
No, it does.
No,
and it has been for a long time.
Yeah, no.
No, the ozone layer has been eroding for a long time. For a very long time. At least 10 years now, I've known. I mean, it's nothing new.
The issue,
water resources reducing, but at the same time, I think that the land itself is sinking, water's rising in terms of the oceans, but then water resources low, and in like how many, we don't know how long, but eventually some countries won't even exist anymore because they'll all be underwater. Stuff like that. Eventually, God's going to cleanse the earth again and say, wipe out, start again. And who's to say that these other creatures you're talking about is not what he's planning? And if we were to bring in my my conspiracy theory, which was there's different universes all parallel to each other. So there is another earth and another universe and whatever. Who's to say that God's not, like I said before, testing which one's the one that I want to keep?
Okay.
How do we not know that there's not other humans somewhere else?
I mean,
we just call them aliens.
Sure.
We're just going to call them aliens, but who's to say that they're not also human somewhere else?
There's definitely other beings elsewhere. I need to find the post because, so you know that we send signals into space and whatnot.
Yeah.
Apparently, we've received hostile responses from 4 other planets.
Universe.
Yeah.
Hostile. They were like, don't talk to us.
Yeah, as in like, as in we communicated God knows what to them, and their response back was, nah fam, we're on crud. Like,
Battle of the Planets. Can you imagine?
So when they say, oh yeah, you know, like extraterrestrial, but the government's been received responses back, and they ain't been happy. Like, I don't know what they are. They're probably asking for resources, because that's all. What do you want another planet for? All you wanted was to live on it, or for
it could be that, or you know, every like on Earth, I feel like the government. And this again could be just another like Dammy's mad wild imagination, but I feel like the government is really trying to protect what we know our world to be.
Oh yeah, 100%, man.
And who's to say that other planets are not doing the same? Because in order for there to be some sort of world order, the people within that world need to believe that this, to an extent, need to feel like they are superior and this is all that there is.
I mean, so it depends on the civilization.
Who's to say that the other planets are not like, don't bring your madness over here because we don't want your peoples to know our people or whatever our beings to know while going over there. So keep to yourself. But if you come here, it's gonna be war.
It's gonna be on, my guy.
Or it could have been that the powerful countries in the world, like Japan, China, America, and I guess to an extent you can say the British, have contacted these other planets to say we need resource because the Earth is gonna go in however long, and then they've gone kind of like the World War type situation, but between the planets, like. And what's that got to do with me?
Legit,
my G. What's that got to do with me?
I can 100% assure you that there is no government with the technological advancements that would enable them to contact planets outside of our own that wouldn't be asking for resources. Without a doubt, that's all they're gonna do. Oh, can we get this? What have you got? What can we trade? Blah 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 blah. Can we come over? Is it oxygen based? Is it carbon based? Do you have water?
Can you imagine a universe war?
We'll get smoked because I'm gonna tell you now. Even me, I'm not fighting for planet Earth. This planet is dead, bruv. I'm like, show me this next one. I said, if there's black people in the next planet, bruv, I'm
like,
out.
you know what? I'm not even making jollof rice for this world. You know, I'm not even gonna. I ain't. What was it I said last time? I'm not even gonna make bangers and mash. For that, yeah, I will not make rice and peas. I will not make curry. I will not make jollof rice. I will not make fufu. I will not make okra soup for planet Earth. Beam me up, Scotty. Let me go.
I'll be real. So long as I can pre what the planet looks like, if it looks green and lush, or something equivalent to what I would expect, like maybe like Avatar vibes. I don't care what color the people are, but I need to see the characteristics. I need to see the characteristics of blackness. I need to see the characteristics.
It will freak me out. I mean, if Bay is in another planet, you know what? If they opened it out, yeah, I reckon a lot of people will probably find the love of their lives if they opened it up to other planets. Because
I think people are having a hard enough time finding the love of life on Earth.
No. I feel like it's because the options over here it's a bit where. But if we were to broaden our our options now, things might be a bit different. That's what I think anyway.
I don't see it happening. I feel like if there was aliens, it's most certainly a wrap.
How long do you think we have? This is something I think about a lot. I'm always like, is there any point in having kids? Because the way the Earth is moving. No, deep it. The way the Earth is moving. I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. I want children, but I'm just really deep in it. Like,
if you knew the world was gonna end in like 10 years, would it stop? And you were ready and you had a partner and all of that.
I wouldn't have children. Why do I need to bring them into that? Yeah, I'm not doing that.
I would,
10 years. So the child will only live max 10 years, if possible. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
9 years because I would have had to.
Yeah. All right. Let's just say we'll do it. So it's 10 years, 11 years. The war's gonna end in 11 years.
So the child will only live.
The child will live to be
10 years.
Me personally, I think I'd still have a child. I'm not gonna lie.
Do you know why? Because you do realize that it's gonna get worse. Living conditions are gonna get worse.
Yeah, of course. But
why would I want to put my child through that?
I mean, it depends on perspective. I am seeing it from the viewpoint that, like they say, every child is a blank canvas. You are the old fogey who understands the context of how life was and how life is becoming. But a child will only enjoy their experience. And
yeah, I hear all of that. And that's lovely and fine and dandy. But if I know that weather conditions are going to become so bad the weather conditions will be so bad that the human beings won't be able to handle what the weather conditions are like, or there's going to be a lot more things like tornadoes, tsunamis, volcanic eruption, the heat will be so bad that, I mean, people get heat stroke in the heat weather that we have now. What sort of, because our bodies are not made for these type of changes.
I'm aware.
Whether they knew their past or not, my child will be in pain. What? Because I wanted to do mama, when I can do mama in heaven. It's cool.
You cannot
It's
do
cool.
mama in heaven for one.
I can do mama in heaven.
But
anything is possible in
also,
heaven.
This then lends itself to evolution and survival instinct. And I feel like what I do know about myself from the life I've lived is, boy, I'm a survivor, you know? There's nothing that could take me down. Even the end of the world. Like, I genuinely believe that the end of the world, I'll still find a way. And I mean, genuinely. So when I say, yeah, I'd have a kid.
I'm not trying to laugh at you, but if the world ends, the world is ending, bro.
No, yeah, but
with everything in it.
Yeah, but the way in which the world will end is simply it would just be a change. The actual Earth itself will not end. The Earth existed long before us, and it will exist long after us.
The world, when they say the world is ending, they're talking about planet Earth.
Yeah,
is diminishing.
Yeah, but what
if
does
there's
diminishing
no planet
mean?
Earth, what
when people say planet Earth is diminishing,
if water is running dry,
no,
land
water
is
not running dry. Water is not running dry. Have you seen this planet? It's 70% water. The water is not going anywhere.
Unless you learn, okay, fine, cool, thank you. Unless you learn how to breathe underwater, bruv. It's either you breathe underwater or you go to another planet. That's the only way you're surviving this world ending, because the world is ending. Earth is going to...
The world is changing. The world has always gone through phases, and it's entering a phase that maybe humans don't survive. Yeah, but... I feel like
no shade, but I feel like I need to go do some more research.
Nah,
I'm telling you now. When they say the world is ending, they're not saying the world as we know it. They're talking about planet Earth.
Yeah,
the days are limited.
Limited to do what? Down. They're counting down to do what?
We are counting down.
And then what happens
Earth
with all the research that you've done? What happens after those days end? What is the dead world? What is that? What's that?
So okay, let's take. Well, there's a number of theories, really, but let's take the one where all the countries and stuff will be underwater at some point.
Yeah, submerged.
Okay, so again, as a human being who needs oxygen to breathe, we do not have the capacity to breathe carbon dioxide. We can't breathe underwater. So okay, so let's say in 10 years time, we don't know how long we got, but in 10 years time, the whole of the Earth is basically a ball of water because all of the land is submerged. How are you surviving that, bruv?
What do you mean?
Because it's either your lungs are going to have to start learning how to breathe underwater, or you're going to migrate to another planet. That's the only way you're surviving that.
There's more options than that.
Okay, what are the other options?
You build something.
The whole floats. Earth is submerged. All land on Earth is submerged underwater.
Yeah, but you just build something that floats. If the human cannot survive underwater and water is all that's left,
okay,
but you're floating on water, then you technically have what you need.
All right, and let's talk about the fact that the Earth is getting hotter because of the erosion of the ozone layer. So let's say you build something for the water, cool, but then there's no ozone layer anymore, which means that when the Earth is orbiting the sun, the heat is unbearable, and our bodies are not equipped for that. How are you surviving that then, big man?
Submerge.
When you can't breathe underwater.
Yeah, but if you're building,
and who's to say that the water itself will not? Who's to say that the water will be cold if there's nothing protecting the layer of the Earth from the sun?
Yeah, the water can be hot, but water doesn't hold heat like that. So it will dissipate. The depth of the water, the heat will dissipate. The sun's heat won't penetrate all the way to the core of the Earth. I understand that the world may be ending, but with regards to all of these scenarios, they are simply just problems. And you can think your way through problems. Not for everybody. I'm not saying that the whole world's however many millions population
I'm telling you now,
will make it.
I'm telling you now.
But I will make
it. I'm so, you know what, I really rate that positivity that you have. I'm not going to lie.
Positivity.
It's very infectious, right?
It's reality.
I rate it highly, but I'm just going to be very frank with you that if the Earth is dealing with a number of different things at the same time that
Yeah.
could lead to its demise. We don't know when, but we know that these things eventually is going to cause problems, right? So I'm just saying that personally, I feel like the only way around it is if humans actually evolve, as in our physical being and what our bodies can take evolves, or we literally move to another planet. Now, if they were given options to move to another planet, I would be one of the first people to say, where can I get my visa? Because man, what's the best
I'd go
case?
to another planet.
That would be how I would survive. But for me to stay on this earth with all its problems, I don't want it. And I wouldn't be bringing children into that. If I knew that there was 10 years left and I knew that, okay, I wouldn't do it personally.
So I would move to another planet, but I'm also not afraid to go against the challenges that are presented in this earth. Because if you think about living in this world, even now, you have examples of how people have survived, built societies, cultures in extreme circumstances. If you look at Tibet, for example, freezing, but people farm out there. They found ways like to make, as in the natives, not like today's people. I mean, like yesteryear's people. Making clothes, using, using the resources. We can farm at this time. We can eat this. They eat like raw yak. And it's so cold that bacteria doesn't even infect the meat. So they can literally just eat. It's mad how they live, but they find a way because...
Yeah, you're talking about evolution, and I totally get that. But
no, they just found a way. They just looked at the problem,
but
and
fundamentally,
that's
evolution. That's called evolution. Okay. It's called evolving to the surroundings that you're in, to the environment that you're in, and making it work. That's great. That's fine and dandy. But if you're telling me that the Earth itself is diminishing, the Earth itself is basically... No, you can't say
diminishing though. Like it has to be a thing.
That's what's happening.
Yeah, but
that's what's happening.
Diminished?
And I've already said to you that unless a human being evolves, our physical, what our body can handle in terms of temperatures and how we breathe and etc., unless all of that evolves with the way the Earth is moving, bruv, how do I take the express rocket to the next planet? Thank you very much.
It's not even that deep.
I'm also a soft life babe. I don't see why I need to be suffering to live on this earth when I could live somewhere else and be fine. I'm telling you, I would be one of the first people like, how do I get out? Because I'm getting out. I'm not staying here. What for?
I'm telling you. Off rip, I'm already thinking of solutions for this 100% covered water hot planet.
That's all. That's great. You can build. I mean,
and I'm not even an engineer.
I'm not saying that it's impossible to think of things. I'm just saying that I want an easy life. I ain't trying to be building nothing.
I hear that. And I hear that. And I think human beings that want an easy life, they will die. That's not how humans evolve.
No. I said I will be like, how do I get off the earth? Oh, they're taking people in.
No, I hear that. But you see
how do I apply for my visa?
All of this Instagram.
How do I apply for my visa and my ticket?
That's giving
and
you
take me and Toby and I'm out of here. Yeah. Bye.
All of this soft life narrative is all good in a thriving society. But in reality, all soft life is promoting is you die first, and everyone who's rough and ready and wants to weather this
You think I'm going to die first? Because all this, the vim you're using, you will die first. You're doing too much.
I'm telling you, in this scenario,
I will be
I'll
okay.
be like, yoy.
I will be okay. And the God that I serve, I just know I'll be all right. It's cool.
Yeah, God has planned for us what he has planned for us. And if soft life is your path, then he will look after you. You know what I mean? Shortly.
And you know what?
Some of
I'm
us
not
will
scared. I'm really not scared to go back to my maker, you know.
At all.
I'm not scared. Take me to my king. I ain't got much to bring. Listen, I will listen.
But I believe,
Lord,
I'm
not afraid.
If the world is supposed to end in my lifetime, I know that God has said, but Sheye, your own job is to make sure that humanity will.
Well, I mean, it's very interesting that you do. It's very interesting that you believe in. Look at you. You believe in the purpose.
Beyond this one trouble right now.
You don't believe in Christianity. Look at your head. You're not serious.
When I tell you God will talk to me, yeah, but I don't need to believe in Christianity to believe in God. God will say, Shay, yeah.
I didn't say you need to believe in Christianity to believe in God. I'm talking about purpose. Yeah, purpose and the purpose destiny. That you are talking about is similar to Noah's purpose. And that
it might be similar. Are there similarities?
Christian fundamentals.
There must be similarities. But those same fundamentals can be traced back to Egypt now. We're not going to talk about the similarities.
We digress. We
You know,
digress.
we won't do it. We won't do Jesus and Horus. We won't do it.
As for me, I'd rather just go back and sit at the feet of my maker. If you want to be building arcs and whatever, and floating on the earth, that's just water for 40 days and 40 nights.
However long it takes.
As for me, God, let me come back to you. I'm ready.
God knows his soldiers. God knows he will get it done. He said, "That shit."
God knows his children. That's why he'll call me back. He'll say, "You know what? That means heaven is waiting for you."
He said, "Soft life."
This is so morbid.
It's not morbid. It's the reality of it.
How can I say? Can we get an amen to me dying? Can we get? The tongue is powerful. I take it back, yo.
But you're not celebrating death. You're celebrating being with your maker. That's what you're celebrating. And I am celebrating the fact that I believe I will be imbued with the purpose of carrying humanity forward beyond the end of the world.
You know what? And I want that for you too. Yeah, I want that for you too, For some, your heaven and my heaven is clearly two different types of heaven. Because as for me, I want to go where there's nothing but love, calm, happiness, everything that I want is there for me. Yeah, I don't want to suffer for that. I suffered enough. And if God says, "Dami, you know what? That's not your purpose, my G. I'm ready to take my daughter back," I will gladly go back. I don't need to stay on this earth and suffer. What for? Amen. I don't need to do that. I don't need to stay on this earth and suffer. So if God says, "Dami,"
amen.
Dami Lola, my daughter, it's time for you to come back where you can live a life of
luxury,
of soft life, luxury, peace. Hey, no stressing about if this thing don't work out, bruv. It's looking, none of that. No stress. Don't need to lift a finger. Don't need to build nothing. Just take me back, beam me up, Scotty. I'll go back and I'll sit at my father's feet and I will be content. Meanwhile, as I'm up there, I'll be like, "Lord, please watch my bro, Shea, because he's down there fighting for his life. Okay, that's what I would do for you. That's the most I can do." But
the lions and the tigers and the new types of fish.
Listen, I will pray. Whatever. Listen, I will be there. I will be there, bargaining for you up top as I'm at my father's feet.
You don't have to bargain because man knows what he sent me to do. Do you know what I'm
saying? I heard that, but you still need prayers, though. You will still need prayers, though.
God has sent me to do. Of course.
Listen, I'm living in my purpose right now. I still pray, and I know that the angels. The angel that has been designated for me speaks on my behalf up there in the heavens. That's how me too, as your good friend, co-hosts from the podcast, I'll be up there. I'll be like, Lord, remember, let's not make it hard for him. It's not every time wilderness. Let him just go with peace,
Not every time wilderness,
It's not every time struggle. Mad. Sometimes, give him a little struggle, but not too much, because he was talking wicked and bad. But just let it be peaceful for him, make it easy.
I want to know how many people are on my side with this thing. If this, boom bang, if this is in a figure of speech, the end of days, not necessarily the biblical end of days, but the end of days in terms of, civilization about to just done out here. But obviously, some people are going to have to carry this thing forward because the world goes through changes and we can get through it. Are you one of the people that's going to heaven right now, or are you staying to fight the good fight? That's all I want to know.
All I'm saying to you is there are planets that have actually disappeared because they literally self-destructed. And that's what they're saying. Earth is on that path. So,
self-destruct, like explode?
Like I said, as for me, I am already living in my purpose. And so therefore, by the time this happened, I believe, and God has told me that I would have completed the task that I was here to do, which means my time will be up. And I don't need to do that last stretch. That's for you, man. If that's your purpose, go with God's speed. Yeah, okay? Man. I pray for you. Like I said, as I'm up there being fanned. Well, no stress, no worries in life. God, I can't wait. No worries.
Why do you even need to be fanned? It should be the perfect temperature. No, it's heaven.
No, because No, I'm being fanned because that's my self-care. That's how God is bestowing love on me. They'll just be fanning me like this. I'll be there like, oh, I can't even remember what it was like to worry because I've not
Wow,
experienced
wow,
worry
wow, wow.
since I was on earth. I don't even know what anxiety is. What's anger? I'm always happy, joyful, peaceful. How does that not sound like
That sounds
literally
fantastic.
heaven? Exactly. I'm ready. Listen, Lord, I'm ready to go.
So that was us discussing literally everything under the sun. Big, big topic. I've still got loads I want to say on it, but we'll bring it back at another point in time. So we just want to say thank you very much for sticking with us to the very end of our podcast. If you're still here, if you've made it this far and you enjoyed what we were talking about or anything that we mentioned, can possibly be talking about, like Black Pride next weekend, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And of course, let us know, are you one of the people that's trying to run to heaven? Or are you trying to stay and fight the good fight with Shay and the Manum? Anyway, so
I'm out of here.
So yes, thank you very much for sticking with us. And until the next time,
Socials are at the bottom of the screen and in the description.
That part too. But yeah, until the next time, from myself and my co-host, Dammy to the Zane.
Peace.
Peace.